Well, hold on. I want to go all into the milk, but first, what I think is fascinating about you is, you hear a lot of people because you kind of got famous, right? A little bit. So
Yes.
you hear a lot of people talk about like if you just kind of stick with your passion, stick with you love, you stick with what you love, good things will come, and eventually things can work out. And that's kind of what happened with you, right? It's like what you just said. You've always been passionate about milk since you were a kid. Even drank a ton of milk in college, whatever. Because you were a farmer, you understand all of the science behind it and those kind of things. And then you have a friend ask you to write an article. You write the article, and then all of a sudden, it kind of one thing leads to another. And then, like you say, you're getting offers from the BBC. Eventually, you go do the South Korean thing, then CNN. It's like you go all the way to California. So what was it like that moment when you first start getting, because like you said, that's what happens with the media is it's like a snowball. Yeah. You get one person and then another reporter sees that, they tell another reporter kind of thing. So what was that like just as a person going from, hey, I'm just a normal guy, like I'm a farmer. I wrote this one article about milk, but then all of a sudden, now you start getting these invites from the BBC and stuff like that. How was that whole kind of, process for you?
I was a bit intrigued by it. Because it's never my idea to get in the spotlights. But this is not the first time I was in the spotlight. So I was already in the spotlights. In the past, I did a lot of things about social farming, like healthcare farming. And when I was doing that, I get also attention from the media. But it was never the idea. The same with urban farming. Edible Rotterdam was just one of the first in Europe who really was going into urban farming, especially inter-urban farming, just really inside of the cities. And we get a lot of attention. When I starting the farm uit je eigen stad, from your own town, we were the biggest at that moment in Europe in an inter-urban setting. And we get a lot of attention, also international. We went on every platform in the Netherlands, but also on Chinese television, on English television, everything. So we were on the spotlight as well. But that was more the story in general, and I was just one of the people who tell that story. But with the Milk Sommelier, it was a bit different because it was really going about me. It was not the story of social farming or urban farming. No, it was the story of the Milk Sommelier, and the Milk Sommelier was Bas. So in a way, that was really... I was intrigued by it, but also with a sort of distance in a way that... I don't want to be in the spotlight. That's not something that I'm really... I don't mind. You can, and now we are sitting just in front of just one person. But if you put me for a room with 1,000 persons, I don't care either. So, but it's not something that I like 1,000 people more than just one person. I just like the story in a way, or the feeling that I have. But that in the Milk Sommelier, especially all those attention was really strange because if you go to South Korea, I earned ridiculous a lot of money just for 1.5 day. It was great because it gave me some more space and freedom for the rest of the year. But it was also strange how people react on you on the film spot. It was we were flying to Seoul. From that to Jeju Island, we were in a really nice hotel. It was great. That was already a bit of star thing, but I didn't recognize it at that moment. And then we go to the spot where we just film the commercial, and there were 50 people, 50, who just walking around me, and I had something like 5 people only taking care of me. There were people who just makeup and food and are you warm enough and do you want anything? So there was really like a star thing, and it's at the end of the day I was really fed up with it. Because I want I think I was also a really difficult client for them because I don't but this was strange, and it was also with the rest. So, and especially what I find intriguing but also a bit uncomfortable still is that people talk to me that I'm the authority about the topic. And as I already referred, in the land of the blind, I think one eye is king. But I still, the interesting thing is that every time I learn more about a topic, I know that I have to learn much more. So because you learn something and you know that there is still a lot more to learn. So in the beginning, you think as you start, especially with younger people, you see that they think they know everything about a topic. But if you know more, you know that there's much more to know. So
we talked about that a bit on the podcast in previous episodes, the Dunning-Kruger effect, I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
Where you basically, like, you start off here, which is at 0, and then you start to get a little bit of knowledge about something, and you think, oh, wow, I think I actually know quite a bit about this. And then all of a sudden you learn a little bit more, and you're like, oh, my gosh, I know nothing, you know? 'Cause now you realize how much is out there. And then at that point, you actually start to underestimate your knowledge because of how much is out there. But you actually, at that point, have to have a pretty good bit to be in that conversation.
Yeah, no, it is, but it's always a bit uncomfortable.
So is that also a little bit of insecurity in a way of like when people kind of like that, what they say of the imposter syndrome stuff of when people start to make you know, any kind of an expert?
It's not that I'm not insecure about it, but I think it's always a bit. I don't like it when people look up to me. So that's more I just
Why?
referred.
Is there anything?
No, it's also I referred that I also wrote articles about anarchism, and anarchism for me it's just one of the sources that I drank of, and for me I don't like anyone to be above me, but I don't like to be that people are under me. I lived also a short time in my life in Ghana, and if you are a white male, there's a lot of people who really act to you as that you are the boss or you're more, and I hate it. So I don't like people who are, I don't know the words in English, but if they get sort of they kruipend, they go to crawl for you because you are the person, and I don't like that.
Why did you go to Ghana?